We are live. That's what it tells me. Pop on to pop off on Christmas Eve 2025 at 10:35. 27 degrees, it says. It feels a little warmer than that. Um, we were supposed to have this big heat wave come into New York, and had Teresa Panel tell me that in Tupelo today it was 74 degrees, and I think it's going to be warm tomorrow, but they'll take a dip by the weekend. So, and then by Tuesday, I think it'll be like 40 or so in Tupelo. So that's quite an erratic swing, not to be confused with an erotic swing. Don't misconstrue. Wow. I'm only digging the hole deeper, and I don't even have a shovel. Imagine if I had a shovel. Actually, there's about 6 snow shovels out there. Can I use one of those? And we have a regular, dig dig a hole for a dead body type shovel too. We do. But heck, we don't use that more than once a week. Hello, Neo. How are you? Did you get your CD? Pam Donnelly, Merry Christmas, Jack and all. Merry Christmas, Pam. Oh, Christina Wilburn retracted her message because she says this guy's too blue. Blue on blue. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. Oh, I can't position this camera anymore to get it right. I have to have Andy do it. Got my rock and roll all day and polka all night long shirt on. It says Jimmy Sturr Band on the back. It does. It does. It does. It does. That could be the thumbnail if they get that as a choice. Get that as a choice, algorithm. Algorithm. And both of those songs I played in the Christmas show are from either the 17 or 1800s. So why am I sharing? Why am I sharing with people who wrote it? Because they're all dead. I don't know. It's the way it is. It's the way of love, as Cher once sang. I love that song. One of her first big ballads, if not her first big ballad, The Way of Love. When you meet a boy that you like a lot, and you love him so, but he loves you not. Remember that song? Anybody remember that song? Do you, Christina Wilburn? Or are you just going to retract your message? Merry Christmas to you, Christina Wilburn, and Patrick as well. Peace and love to everybody. Ringo. Peace and love. You can have that individually in your soul, but in terms of the world having it, no. Come on, people now. Smile on your brother, everybody. Get together. Time to love one another right now. 1969, it did not work out. They recorded that during the Vietnam War, too, So that was probably one of the reasons they did. Pam Donnelly, I ordered a Bob Joyce CD last month, and I still have not got it. Delivered today, Neo, just in time. You got it just in time. Everything reminds me of a song, like everything reminds you of puppets. Need to see if it is out there. You mean you haven't gotten off your keister and gone to the porch? Well, now a porch pirate took it. It's gone. It's gone. People get desperate. I don't know where you live, see. There's a big difference in living in downtown Chicago and out there in Hog's Breath, Wyoming. Huh. I don't know if I'd want to live in Hog's Breath. They say the air is always foul. Nancy DeMarco, Merry Christmas Eve, Jack and family. How are you, Nancy? What's going on in your world on this Christmas Eve 2025? Just popped on, watched Little Dark Shadows with Karen. She started getting sleepy. I got presents to wrap up here and stuff. But, I'm in no hurry. It's not like I'm a go to bed at midnight person. I'm not. I usually end up taking a little nap in the chair, which ruins that, but I didn't today. So maybe I got a better shot at it. There's 10 watching. We're really we're off to the races. I haven't been to the races in a long time. I was never into I betted the ponies a little bit because we have Monticello Raceway up in the Catskills, but very few times that quickly I had a book on it. I never really I really never really was a good student of that. Susie Young, Merry Christmas, Jack and all. Hi, Susie Q. I love you. What's going on this Christmas Eve? Tell me. We on our Christmas show, and I think also on our pop on, since this is the third time we're on, and actually I did a video that premieres tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, um, which will be, of some interest. A one hit wonder and a miracle medical man all in one at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. That'll be released, I believe. Delivered today. Need to see if it's out there. After all this talk, Neil, you've done about the CD's not here, and it finally comes and you don't go to the door. Now I'm beginning to think that you're as wacky as those puppets. And I hear they can behave well, they better behave wacky, otherwise you got no audience, kids. Okay, it's one thing to have the puppet. Now you got to make the puppet funny. And that comes from you or some writer of some sort. Jeff Dunham has writers. He has writers. He's not as brilliant as you think. He has writers. He is brilliant, but not in terms of writing necessarily. And he even says, and I never understood this, don't write for my characters, just write funny stuff, and I'll decide which character it will line up with. Well, that doesn't make any sense. If you're gonna do an Ahmad joke, it's an Ahmad joke. You can't have I don't know. I only like a few of the characters. Walter and Ahmad is definitely my favorites. Um, Ahmad's son is good. That's kind of funny. Um, so thank you. Merry Christmas to you, Susie. I appreciate that. So I never understood that. How can you not write a joke that would be for Ahmad? How can you not write one that's for Walter? I don't get that. Um, my son saw him in Las Vegas when they were on vacation out there, and um, he does that traditional long film about his early years as a kid and what have you. Well, we've seen that. Well, look at here. Here's Hockey 92.7 FM. Merry Christmas, Jack, Karen, and everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. That brings us up to 14, Hockey 92. It's good to see you here. So, what's everybody doing? How did you spend your Christmas Eve? Now, it's already Christmas Day. And do they have, where are my Australian people? Do you have an American type Christmas Day? We just assume. And you know what happens when we assume? Tony Randall explained it beautifully, I think. There's several things that Tony Randall said that stuck in my mind forever. Forever. Two things. That, of course, because that was part of a script of The Odd Couple. And the other is when he said that, because he knew that he was starting to get sick and, probably not long for this world. He says, I would love to think I'm going to see my dear mother and my dear aunt and what have you. I'd love to think that, but I know it's not going to happen. I always remember poignant quotes like that. Um, remember Happy Holidays trying to change Merry Christmas? Well, the only reason I have a Happy Holidays ShopRite bag, and that's what it is, Scott, is because I love that truck. I would much rather it say Joy to the World, but they won't put that with a truck. Don't you love the old vehicles? I mean, I just love the old vehicles. So when I saw the truck, I said, oh, it's got Happy Holidays on it. Wasn't happy with that. They don't make Christian bags at the shop, right? I'd have to find them somewhere else. And I know that there's just regular signs, but these just hang right off a hook, so it's so nice and easy, you know? But I would, yeah, I'm totally with you. I don't believe in the happy holidays thing. Um, I believe in Merry Christmas all the way or Happy Hanukkah for our Jewish friends. Am I going to do Kwanzaa? No, because I've never really studied Kwanzaa. I mean, I could tell you more about the Mormons and the Jehovah Witnesses than I ever really studied Kwanzaa, whatever it is. So I don't know too much. I can talk about Hinduism. I was involved with it for a few years when I was a youngin, you know. But see, then I became born again in '84, and if Larry Geller would have come to me after I had been born again, I would have said, "No, I'm sorry, Larry. You're a real nice guy and you sure cut hair nice, but take your BS Hinduism and go on, get." You have to if you're born again. So no one's ever going to convince me that Elvis was born again when he did those early gospel albums. You know, we all have our appointed time, and you can't link someone coming in and giving you, "Oh, look at my guru books and look, oh, and he eats it all up." No. No, a born again oh, I mean, he just wants to know about it. No, you don't, because you know it's darkness. Don't get me started. I'm going off on a rant. I'm going off on a rant, you know. Shallow people that of faith think that, meaning that they probably don't really have any faith at all. It's fake faith, but fake news. I'm sorry. I didn't plan to go there at all. Wouldn't mind a '58 Plymouth Fury, huh? Oh, I just, I see these old movies and I see the beautiful cars. And now, you know, to get a beautiful car now, you got to pay 75 grand, you know? I mean, they look, what the heck? I mean, I believe me, they're functional and they're good. A Toyota is a great car, but if you want a really hot Toyota, you got to pay a lot of money for it. And certainly the same thing with a Mustang. I mean, let's bring the Mach 1s back, but with all the safety features of today. Big front seat. I thought it was the back seat that was important. I'm just joking. Um, do you need a big front seat? You do if Louie's in the car. I saw Louie at ShopRite today. Louie, he can't put the belt on. He just can't. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do about Louie. He's in his 50s and, he's not looking that good. What are you going to do, though? Breathe, Jack. Are we going to ohm? I'm not going to ohm because I sort of did that a little bit at the ashram, Anada Ashram. I guess that's what it was called with Swami Muktananda. Swami Muktananda. I mean, right there at his feet was an academy. I think she won an Academy Award. Marsha Mason was there. She did a Dark Shadows, and she got bit by Barnabas. The only reason she did Dark Shadows is because she was a fan of the show, and she said, "I'll come on for a couple of episodes, but I got to be bitten by Barnabas." And they said, Marsha Mason wants to come on here. Even back in the '60s, she was, an established actress. Marsha Mason wants to come on. We gotta give her what she wants. We gotta give her what she wants. Yeah. So I'm having fun. Hi, Vicky Smith. Merry Christmas to you, Jack. I like that. No overused prayer symbols, but the cross and a tree, and that's fine because you put the cross first. That was a very smart move. You put the cross first. Very good. Susie's retracting her messages. um, but I do remember that, Scott. I do, and I'm just in love with the truck. What can I tell you? When you're in love with a beautiful woman, you watch your friends. I grew up in the 1960s, just like me, pulling us kids behind in our wooden waxed sleds. Yeah, me too. Except I really didn't have any friends, Scott. I didn't have any friends really. I mean, I had some buddies in Montreal in the 6 months that I was there, couple of buddies. Um, but really, in terms of real friends, it didn't happen to 1972 and flourished in 1973 at McDonald's on 211 in the town of Walk Hill. That's when I first found my first real friends. I was an only child. Everybody would be out at the Little League field. I'd go there too sometimes because I liked the atmosphere of it. I liked watching them play ball, but I wasn't going to play it because I told myself that I would suck if I didn't. Everything I told myself I couldn't do, I was right. But I'm not psychic. I'm a self-fulfilling prophecy addict. And I got called on that one day. WVOS-FM 2010 and 2011 in Monticello. My coworker, the morning man, is the son of one of the biggest radio icons who was also the voice at the time, or had been at the voice of HBO and a thousand commercials that you'd hear all over the country. He got more doing voiceover than he did on WABC, and he was the second highest paid jock there. Okay. He'd get off. There was no home studios and digital stuff. He would leave the air at 6 o'clock on WABC, go to some studio somewhere, and have another 4 hours working with an engineer. He never had to do all the tech stuff, even when it was easier. No, he was Dan Ingram. He was the Ingram host of the Ingram Mess. The Dan Ingram Shores. Some people called him the best disc jockey ever. Best disc jockey ever. He was blue, but usually in a very sly kind of way, like Imus would do. And he was, married a lot and what have you. But I'm working with his son, and it's digital production time now. And everybody knows my skills are almost non existent. Now, a couple of people got away with not learning it, but they wanted me to learn it. And so he tried to teach me, and his way was to sit there in the chair and da 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 da. Okay, now give it a shot. And he'd walk out of the room. I can't learn anything like that. I got to sit there, and you got to say, okay, do this, do this. Oh, you forgot to do that. That's the way I learned. But he didn't get that. So I wrote him a note because he was the morning man and I was the afternoon man. We both had 6 hour shifts. Part of it was voice tracked. I didn't actually stay there. I had a 7 hour shift and I was gone by 6 o'clock because I had voice tracked the last hour. I listened to myself going home. My biggest fan back then. So I left him a note saying that wasn't the way I learned and stuff. The next day, when I came in for my noon shift, he was hot under the collar. As I sat in the chair, and this is the time when I'm supposed to, be creative and not be distracted. And he just reamed me out of oh, you're a self-fulfilling prophet, Jack. You told yourself you couldn't do it, and you can't do it. And he went on, and of course, at that point, this is Chris Ingram talking to me, and I'm not going to be disrespectful to him. I might have been a little bit direct in the letter, and I've done that with other people. I mean, if you serve me liver, if the waitress I like serves me liver, when I ask for chicken and I hate liver, I might eat it. I might. Um, and not say anything and be as pleasant can be. You hurt someone you love, I'll take a Nuzini and I'll blow your head off. Theoretically, I've never done that. So, forgiveness at that point does not come to mind. It does not come to mind. Our Cub Scout group, our Cub Scout group, um, went to a Erie, PA radio station, and me and my friend made sound effects while live on the air. Really? Is that like the morning show? That's where those kind of things usually go on. Yeah, Erie, PA is a very special place. Um, I listen to a couple of guys on the Poga Jammer Network on Sunday afternoons at 5 o'clock sometimes. There's Gary, and there's this is where the memory starts to come in because I know Ken Olowin. Ken Olowin and Gary, he used to be a newsman in Erie and what have you on the radio, and now he's basically retired. But he does this show with Ken Olowin, and they're both excellent and funny together. Funny together. Um, and in the summertime here, he's got beaches and everything. This time of year, get lost in the snow. You'll end up like Jack Nicholson at the end of The Shining, which, by the way, was a lousy ending. A lousy ending to a great movie, don't you think? Anybody think that ending where he's just frozen there in the maze that was a well written ending? Tell me. People don't usually answer any of my questions. And here's one who never answers my questions, but I love him anyway. He's now just like he makes cameos here now, but he is wishing Mr. Jack a Merry Christmas Eve from Rich. I've never called you Rich. And Vivian Lee Lyon. See, I used to call her Vivian Vance, but she didn't like that, and I can understand why. But now she's Vivian Lee Lyon. So Merry Christmas to you guys in beautiful West Palm Beach. I am envious. I want to come down. I want to come down so bad. But, really, Texas is way ahead of that, and it won't be warm in Texas. Oh, it could be. It could be. It could be 75 degrees, or it could be 40 degrees. You never know in Texas, except in the summer, it's going to be brutally hot like where you are. How are you, Richard? Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I'm glad that you're here. And I would love to know what's going on in your life. Do you don't come back east ever for Christmas, I take it. Pat Pate is here. Hey, Jack. Hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. Am I? Not really. I got my son is in Texas. My daughter's in North Carolina. One of my exes lives in Texas. The other one doesn't. And I don't think she'd like me to talk about her, so I won't. You know, I try to keep it vague when I talk about my years playing fairs and festivals. I actually found something that I love more than radio, which shocked me, which shocked me because I loved radio a lot. I loved radio a lot. And I miss it to this day, even though I'm doing something with a microphone and I'm thrilled to be doing it. I miss playing the music and what have you. I miss the excitement that people had for radio all the way back to WBUZ in 77. The people I work with, I remember them all, and it was such a cool experience. I mean, I've been out of broadcasting school since the end of 1974, 75, 76. Now it's September of 77, and I finally got my first radio job. I think that part of that is because two things. California pulled me like a magnet, and I wanted to go back to Hollywood. I went like 3 or 4 times and finally stayed a year from 79 to 80 after my first 2 years in radio. And the other reason was the people. I love the people at McDonald's. It was like a family. That's what makes any job, right? I mean, if you work with people that you really get along with and what have you, um, and like 2% of them stayed in this area. Everybody else had the sense to get out. But I I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't leave this area. First of all, my retirement has been made such that there's been a cut in my retirement um, that would, it wouldn't be enough money. I definitely have to be doing this, and you never know how long this is going to last. I do think 2026 is going to be a big year, but at some point, I don't know. It's already been way down in previous months. June was like 1,000 times better than December. That's not good. You're all good, just busy time of the year. I'm sure the same for everyone else. Well, I don't know if you have much family down there, but as I say, for us, it's just the three of us. It's Andy, Karen, and myself. And I'm aware of my blessings. I'm also aware of how I miss my kids. I talk to my son a lot. I talk to my daughter not at all, and that is unacceptable to me. But you know, I don't know what to do about that. 70 degrees in Denver. Huh. I just I know there's times where you guys are buried in snow. I heard about snow in June or July there once. I swear I didn't dream that. Did I, Rocky Mountain High? I think I did. Um, so I don't know. Me and my friend used to play for see how I squint? Used to play for free uh ping pong at the radio station. Free ping pong. They had a ping pong table at the radio station. That's different because you wouldn't want that going over there. KSUP in Santa Cruz. See, everybody lives in a warm spot. Much as I love California and was drawn to certainly Hollywood, visited Santa Barbara once. Um, it's just I don't I don't want to live under the reign of Gavin Newsom any more than I want to live under the reign of Kathy Hochul and Chuck E. Cheese Schumer. You know, isn't it amazing, Sam Sammy? You are amazing, Sam Sam. Oh my goodness, look at that, $20. Elvis says play Powerball. We did. I think Karen got one ticket today. It's not like you really increase your odds. Far more of a chance of you getting struck by lightning multiple times than winning the big number. A little bit better of a chance if you win like $1 million or something if you have three matches or whatever. But it's tough. It's tough. And that's why it's up to what? 1.7 or probably more. 1 billion point seven. That's amazing. Go Powerball. Yeah, everybody plays, you know. How many states are involved, Richard? Do you know? Uh, It's quite a few states. I mean, if you win that, uh, just beyond fathomable. I don't have enough time left to spend that much money, but I can tell you, you know, a lot of good causes would be on my agenda. Mr. Jack, Merry Christmas Eve from Rich and Vivian. I read that. Let's see. So that's cool. The guy downstairs who's not here today, I'm thinking he might have went to Rhode Island to see his sister. He's done that before, and he never announces anything. Like you might want to turn the heat down because I'm not going to be around. When Jack doesn't need it, you might want to turn the heat down, save money because I'm not going to be back till probably very late Christmas night. Or is he coming in now? Because I left the door open for extra heat. That's a trick. You shut the bathroom door and you leave this door open, but you don't want to do it when, with no privacy, with him climbing up the stairs, and you think Bigfoot is real. Bigfoot is real. Um, so thank you so much, Sam Sammy. Usually you do that and then you just leave. And I say, whatever happened to Sam Sammy? Or you get very quiet. But I want to tell you that I appreciate that you hitting the thanks button for $20 so much. I appreciate any amount. And that helps us as we try to get to a certain goal. And I've lowered my standards in terms of a goal. I have. I've got some ideas for pre-recorded videos to make that happen. Um, the story's really blossoming, guys, and there's some really interesting. Don't want to say too much because you never know who's watching. There's more than one catch-22 involved in this story now. And there's things, as I said in the last Worldwide Ramblings, I hate to be cryptic, but I have to honor sources, and I have to not say things that would hurt somebody that I don't want to hurt. If somebody just blurts it out here, then they blurt it out here. I have no control of that, you know. Um, but I'm not going to. I've even been thinking about what would my reaction be to that, and I've gone over various reactions I could use. I'm sorry I'm being cryptic. It's not that, I don't wanna tell you things that you would find interesting, but there are people involved in this story, and, when somebody shares something in confidence, they share something in confidence. When the day comes that other people seem to know about it, then that's a different story. That's how it worked with the Lisa Marie private funeral, and who might have officiated that funeral and preached the eulogy. I didn't say anything, and I probably screwed myself out of a viral video if I had done it right. But, I did the right thing. But then all of a sudden, everybody knew about the funeral card and what it said. Whether it was real or it was faked, I still do not know to this day. Nobody gives me any input. So it's 77 degrees in West Palm Beach, says Richard. 77 WABC. Oh, didn't we love that growing up, Richard? Did you? I'm assuming. And you probably were listening to something else. You were probably listening to WPLJ or WNEW-FM. Yeah. Here's rock and roll from Zeppelin. Those jocks. Pat St. John. It's now, well, he was on Sirius XM. I had my photo taken with him. Whatever happened to my Pat St. John picture? It happened at the cousin Brucey, my ex radio boss. It happened at his concert at the New Jersey State Fair, kind of like in memory of Palisades Park, where he used to do the concerts. The headliner was Neil Sedaka. He was absolutely fantastic. Fantastic. And there was Chubby Checker, who was absolutely fantastic. And I don't know what he does, but he still looks young. He still looks young. This guy, sometimes the work just is done right. Other times you end up like Simon Cowell looked for a while, but that seems to be going away, and I'm happy for him. So thank you, Sam Semi, for $20 on the thanks button right there. And let's see here. If I won the lottery, it would really be something. Well, yeah, for all of us, right? But then I'd say, wow, I had to wait till I'm pushing 70 to win, especially since I don't play. Okay, Neo. Okay. I don't know. I'm thinking that you're going to need some writers for these puppets, but maybe I'm wrong. I should watch a video or two, right? Which one would you want me to watch first? Let's see here. 70 in Denver and 70 in Tupelo and what are we at 20 something? 28 degrees? Let me just check see here. I think I can do that and come right back to you. Because we got snow coming Friday, I think. I don't know. Oh, here it comes. All right. Yeah, it's 28, and Friday it's going to be snow and sea in 24, 27 on Saturday, 31, 44. Sunday, 20s at night, 18, 16, Christmas night, but 44 during the day. It was supposed to be much warmer, but what can we say? Lisa Renee, it's one of the jocks I used to work with, but she was voice tracking, and when you're voice tracking, it's not like we're working together. Yep, you definitely need writers, Neo. So let's get Neo some writers. Let's see here. Some guys are not, that go to the gym. They just want to pump up at Crunch Fitness. They're actually pretty, they're pretty high on the scales. It's warm in Michigan, 37. Well, I suppose, for Michigan, right? Because you get bitter cold. Hi, Jupiter's Realm. Hi, Jack and everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you. But just the fact, Richard, that you can go, what is this, like 3 or 4 rounds now of the Powerball and nobody hit it? Nobody hit it. and you hope that it's more than one person that hits it, you know? You hope that it's more than one, but that's how hard it is. I mean, how many combos are there? To infinity? I don't know. See, I don't know math. I told myself I could not learn math, and once again, I was right. And I was also right not to learn it because you just don't need it in what I do. In what I do, there's been no times I had no plans of doing any construction where, I can understand an architect would need it and what have you, because I told myself I didn't have any of those skills. And once again, I don't know one end of the hammer from the other. If you win, Jack, your 1 month vacation is all paid free by me. If I win, you said, okay. I thought, I'm going to win and my vacation is paid for by Richard. If I win, Jack, your 1 month vacation is all paid free by me in South Florida. 1 month. Hey, see, I always like to stay. I don't mind staying at the Motel 6. There's a real nice one in Kissimmee across from Old Town. Anybody ever been there? I don't mind it. I wouldn't mind a five-star hotel either. Um, I never have really stayed in a suite or anything like that. Well, I stayed in a suite at Villa Roma, but their version of a suite is not, what it would be at a five-star hotel. In the second marriage with the traveling clown, they paid for us to stay in a really nice place. And I thought, wow, this has never happened before. We're usually paying our own way at the Motel 6. We stayed at a Motel 6 in Port St. Lucie for a month because we did the Port St. Lucie fair and then we did the Vero Beach next door fair. And the only way we got to do Vero Beach was to work for free, except that she was going to twist balloons for tips and what have you. And we just wanted to stay in Florida. So I was the guy who was trying to put this all together. Okay, we got Port St. Lucie, paid fair, not a lot, but again, we'll get to twist. And then she did a magic show if they wanted it. She could sing if they wanted it, and she did both beautifully, and probably still does. And then, but we wanted to stay down there, and Vero Beach said, "Well, we've been booked for a while now. We've been booked for a while." But they liked the pictures. We were on the internet already, and they liked that. And they said, "Well, gee, we'd like to have her." I said, "Well, then we'll come and we'll twist for tips, but we're going to have to twist more than we normally would." And when I say we, it's all her. I'm just collecting the money. I did a lot of other things, but twisting balloons was another thing. I told myself I could not possibly learn that. I could not possibly climb the rope in gym class, and I never did. I'd rather make a total fool of myself, giving up easily. Jack, I said I would pay. Well, I don't think I questioned that, Richard Lyon. I know you would. I know you would. So I could stay in a really cool place, huh? I could stay at Mar-a-Lago. Would you go for that? I bet you there's no openings anyway at Mar-a-Lago, right? Can I stay like in Elon's room if Elon's not around? Elon's suite. What am I saying? Room. I think they reunited and it feels so good. Reunited and it's understood. Please don't ever do that again. Elon, don't do that again. Don't do that to the Trump man. Don't do that. You guys are like, well, you're like another son to him. I can't really say that you're like brothers. We're like another son to him. Don't ever do that again. Because that's just what the very people that you don't want to help love. Best resort possible. Well, you should know what that is down there. I don't know. I would love to stay at Mar-a-Lago, but I'll have to ask Pastor Bob Joyce what it's like. Well, you just Neil, you just lined yourself up with icons of humor. Monty Python, Mel Brooks. Now, then you go to Jim Henson and other uh, comedy of the absurd. Next, you're going to say, people compare me to Albert Brooks. um, that's a high bar. Monty Python, because, that was a team of very talented people. Eric and John Cleese. And, did see some of those early movies, and they're just phenomenally funny. They're phenomenally funny. So I'll take you up on that, Richard, but I don't know. I think we got to find another way to build a fortune in our fourth quarter. Now, you may not think you're in your fourth quarter, but then again, you weren't good at math back there in Queens. You weren't. Were you in Queens? I always forget your borough. I always forget your borough. He's got a real cool TV too, Richard. He's got this. I only saw it once, and my face was on it, but it's down there in the den or basement, whatever you want to call it. And it's how many inches are no, I'm not gonna say that. How big is that TV, Richard? He's very talkative tonight. What about Vivian Lee Lyon? Went shopping to at the pubic hair. No, the Publix, Publix. Took me a while. My son has been to Publix grocery store and seen Laura Ingraham. So you are that close. She lives down there. I knew she was in Florida, and she can make it look like she's in a studio. Or she has even done the Ingram angle in a big van, TV van. She's done that with a backdrop. But when you see Kaylee, excuse me, should know it, my daughter's name, Kaylee McEnany at 9 o'clock at night on Hannity, she may look like she's in a studio, but it's just a backdrop. It's just a backdrop. If she's hosting Hannity, then she's probably in a studio. I was fantastic at math, and yes, Queens and 75th. Queens and 75th. I've never heard it put that way, Richard. Like somebody calling me? Where's that? Leon, my friend Leon is calling me at 11:17 at night. Jeez, I hope he leaves a voicemail. Can't talk to Leon now. He's my Colonial Diner buddy. He's my Colonial Diner buddy. I hope he doesn't have anything bad to tell me about Carmen or something. I wouldn't want to ever hear that, or bad about himself. But Leon is like 82, 83 and still working full time. Yeah, kind of full time, 5-6 hours a day in the delivery business, You know anybody in the delivery business, Richard? 75th. A 75-inch TV. I see. You got the John C. Holmes model, huh? Only a certain amount of people get that joke, Richard. 75-inch TV. Cool. I went to St. Petersburg Junior College in Clearwater. Oh, two of my favorite places. And I've only spent a very little time in Clearwater, and I've spent more time in St. Petersburg. Jimmy Sturr is going to be there, Scott. Now, you go see him at the Polish Club in St. Petersburg if you're still down that way. Trust me, you'll enjoy it. I don't know if Chris Caffrey will be there from the Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's touring all over the place. They're wrapping up their tour now. I think they do a few after Christmas, but by January they're done. And this summer he'll be in Poland and Germany with the group Sabotage. And when he's not doing any of those things, he'll be with Jimmy Sturr, usually. So in February, yeah, Chris Caffrey will probably be there with his long blonde hair. From before Taylor Swift came along in 2024, TSO in 2 months of touring was the number one touring band in America. Yeah, so they're a big deal, and they do 2 shows in a stadium or not a stadium, but in a big arena, and it's something to see. We only saw it once, but it was I never saw a light show like that. I can tell you that much. Powerful, powerful. Wrapped everything up Saturday. Who wrapped up everything Saturday? Your presents, you mean? Yeah. Oh, okay. You got that, Richard. I knew you did. What's the other guy? Harry? Harry, right? This goes back to our youth. Our youth, you know? Oh, there's things that and on Christmas Eve I should definitely not be coming to mind, about how much better women look back then. You know what I mean, Richard. Um, so do you like the Publix grocery store? Laura Ingram, it's funny you say that because it wasn't too long ago. I saw that she just got back from the grocery store and she said she hadn't showered yet. I thought that was revealing. She had her hair tied back, beautiful kitchen, of course, in her house, and she was making ginger snaps or, ginger cookies. They seemed a little bigger than a snap, And she said, "Oh, with a glass of milk, delicious. I bet you. I bet you. You want to ask Laura the next time you see her if you can have some of those ginger cookies." Hmm. Yeah. It wasn't that many years ago she was on the radio and had a serious cancer and, she had to have surgery and what have you, and I'm so glad that she made it through. She made it through the rain and found herself respected by the others too. No, the others, something that got rained on too. I saw this Barry Manilow tribute guy. His name is Joe Height at the Paramount Theater a couple of weeks ago on a Friday. I felt like I was seeing Barry Manilow. He looks like him. He sounds like him. Got a nice orchestra. He's got two dancing girls that change costume for the closing song that turned out not to be the closing song because they wanted an encore. Copacabana. They got the high tiaras and what have you that Elton John would wear. Elton John, a little funny, isn't he? I don't know. I always thought that. It just amazes me how when you're a rock star, you can get somebody that you normally wouldn't have been able to get, or you got the dough, like Richard is filthy rich, Anyone else wrapping presents? They're right back there on my bed, so I got to do something, Jupiter's realm. What about anybody else? I was fantastic at math, and really, I never figured. Well, did you felt you were going to probably use it in life and what you were going to do, right? You probably have used it in your line of work. Hello, Gloria Drummond. Hold me back because the DJ is out tonight, and he always gets me in trouble. And Christmas Eve is not the night for that. If you watch my Christmas show, I'm more proud of that than I am of myself right now. Hello, Jack and family. Merry Christmas Eve. Amen. 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 Check out Gloria Drummond's channel. Jesus is the only answer, or some variation of that. So, yeah. What do we got? 30 watching. It's light. It's light. What's a pop on to pop off? Hi, Tim Spencer. He's wrapping presents right now. That's cool. That's cool. And so that's cool what you did, Scott Baker. And Erie is a very special place from what I've seen of it. It's definitely a place. They have a big polka show, which Kenny Olwyn and Gary that are on the Polka Jammer Network. That's polka. People think I'm saying poker, like I play poker. I've never played poker. Leave that alone. Polka Jammer Network .org. Sundays at 5 p.m. East Coast time. It's a fun show. They play the modern stuff, and they're very funny together. They're a good team. They would make a great morning radio team, but nobody cares anymore, Richard, about radio, I guess the sports networks, but do you really want to hear Joe from the Bronx tell you what he thinks of the Islanders? Don't get it. I don't get it. Yes, Jack studied 12 years of school, math, but you've done other stuff, haven't you? 12 years of school math to be a truck driver. Yeah. Somehow I fancy you as someone who also does carpentry and other stuff. Why do I am I just inventing this in my head? Inventing this? Maybe, maybe, maybe. Yeah. Um, there's a little bit of math. Of course, it's probably easier than when you had to keep those logs that you could fake. You can't fake them anymore, can you, Richard? But you're not a long hauler. I think you probably were at one time a long hauler. I don't know. But so you went to St. Petersburg Junior College in Clearwater. Why is St. Petersburg Junior College in Clearwater and not St. Petersburg? Same school Jim Morrison went to. Isn't that interesting? My friend, well, he's not my friend, but he was a work acquaintance, and we got along quite well. He always called me Jackie Luther London, which was and he would do it today if he saw me, because he used to come back and visit, and I saw him in the Dalston Avenue ShopRite. But he's a home builder in Clearwater, Maurice, and that's all. I won't give you his last name. And he did so much better than you would have thought when he was a peace officer with me at Camp LaGuardia. I didn't think he was that serious of a business individual, and man, was I wrong. He's a millionaire today because he earned it, He earned it. I had a feeling Mike Quinn Oil in this region, I don't know if he's still here, I could tell he was a go-getter, doing 2, 3 jobs and what have you, and he had to go through a lot of hurdles to make that oil company happen, and did very well. I'm not sure what he's doing right now. But yeah, my son is, he's still working for U.S. Foods in Texas. And they pay well, but it's about to be less because how they hire somebody to reduce cost, and Austin's making too much money. You get on down there and fix it, and there'll be something in it for you if you're able to accomplish that. Yeah, so you know what that means. They lose drivers because the people that see like a $20,000 a year pay cut all of a sudden, and then they back off and what have you. It's happened before. My son was told, just hang tight and see what happens. I met Dion from the group Dion and the Bellmans. Well, I certainly know Dion DiMucci. I've been watching a little bit of his videos on Facebook. The guy never ages. I mean, he ages, but so gracefully. And he's so healthy. He's in his 80s, and he's still got a voice. You'd still want to see him live. He still performs live, not as much as say Little Anthony and Chubby Checker and what have you, but he does. Mai is a Christian radio producer in Denver and Colorado Springs. He was, boy, you got a tough one here. He was an organic chemist for the state of Colorado Health Department and a Christian radio producer. So much of Christian radio has gone to using networks, and a disc jockey who's talking to you like he's local in Pennsylvania, but he's really in Dallas, Texas. And all he's done was gone into the studio once they got your radio station and done a bunch of local liners, and it'll be programmed into the computer that just before he starts talking live, he'll come on and do the local ID, and then he'll start talking live. And you never know that he's not local at all. It's been ruined by these program directors, I swear, all to save money and to, with no understanding of the music. They wore out the songs. They wore out the great 80s songs by overplaying the same songs over and over. Oi, Richard. Richard and I remember the good old songs, and Dion DiMucci certainly did some of those. Saw the Coasters a few weeks ago with Jimmy Sturr. You can see them right here at the Christmas concert. It says 12/8. The actual concert was 12/6 because the promo is talking about the live show we're going to do on 12/8. But watch the Jimmy Stir. It's part two of the Christmas show. You'll see the Coasters singing Poison Ivy, and Yakety Yak is their closing song. And they do Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer. The couple of their other hits they did in the first set, and I didn't get that. Um, and of course, Jimmy Stir and his orchestra being wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Vivian worked hard in the kitchen all day for Christmas. So much food and a nice, delicious lasagna. Can't wait to eat. Mm-mm-mm. So you're going to have that tomorrow? You're not going to have like turkey or roast beef or prime rib or anything like that? It's going to be lasagna will be the main course. Here, if I want good lasagna, I got to go to the Mayor's restaurant. That's Old Erie. You can't beat that. Why try it yourself when? Because we split it. We're both on drugs that reduce your appetite. But I screwed up this winter. I mean, I screwed up this Christmas season. Thanksgiving started in Thanksgiving. Started prior to Thanksgiving. When that Turkey Hill eggnog came out, don't tell me, oh, you got to put rum in it. No, no. This is the most delicious eggnog out there. You don't want a thin eggnog that's not that flavorful, but Turkey Hill eggnog, oh, it's so good. So, they came in the pint. So I'm only going to get a pint or maybe 2 pints, and that's gone before you know it. And then I got a half gallon, and I just saw the weight coming back on me. Ozempic is great for not being able to eat big plates of food, but you can sit and munch on those junior mints to your heart's content, or cookies and things like that. So you got to tell yourself not to do that. Good evening and happy Merry Christmas to Elaine Peterson. Hi, welcome. Welcome to a pop on to pop off. Nice to have you. Richard says that Vivian Lee Lyon is Italian. Okay, that makes all the difference. The best lasagna we ever had here was Tony Bava's, a little bit better than the Mayor's lasagna, and a little bit of crushed sausage in there, and beef. You got some meat in there, but the beef doesn't overwhelm it. There's not too much of it, and there's got to be a lot of ricotta, a lot of ricotta, and don't get chintzy on me with the cheeses. Don't get chintzy on me, and don't improvise. I don't want I don't mind actually. Spinach is one thing I wouldn't mind in my lasagna. Spinach doesn't ruin anything. Some things ruin stuff. Don't put Brussels sprouts in there. My goodness. If you like Brussels sprouts, you would like a cold cigar bud that's been sitting in an ashtray for 2 days. Eat that. It's just like a Brussels sprout. Sha Na Na. Well, they were imitators, They never had any hit records themselves, but they were very good. Bowser, yeah. He had some good songs. Well, Sha Na Na was a group, and yeah, Bowser were very entertaining, but they were mostly doing cover songs, as I recall. But they did have what was their signature that they would use, their signature theme? It's been so long. Merry Christmas, Jack and family, says Elaine Peterson. Yes, same to you. Other people saying hello to Elaine. Gloria Drummond. So 89.7 is Calvary Chapel's Aurora radio station. Yeah, the main station when I worked for this 14 station network, the home base station was 89.7 FM. WFGB. They chose those call letters and they were made available to them because they weren't taken because they WFGB, it was full gospel broadcasting. In other words, the board of directors were all Pentecostals. And my goodness, both Bruce and Mary Winchell lived to a ripe old age. Mary Winchell, who was on Saturday nights, she would relieve me. I was the Saturday afternoon guy. Mary was sweet. She would bring people with her from church and stuff, and her husband, and they would have quiche and all that. And she did a show called Amazing Love. I think she did it live and it was pre-recorded and then played back, and she built up a library of these, shows, and, she was on all evening, 6 to midnight, and it was like a party up there on Saturday night. I didn't stay for it, but it was, and, but that was 89.7 FM. When I first got there, that's all there was. Then the next one was 89.3 in Monroe, and then 88.9 in Port Jervis. Then, we got our first capital region stations, Troy, Albany, Schenectady covered. That was a big thing. And it went on from there, and we got into Massachusetts a little bit. We were heard in 7 states, I think. So it wasn't too bad. Jack, she didn't let me get eggnog this year, so I am going to make my special hot chocolate with some whiskey. See, people want to ruin these drinks with alcohol. It's like rum in the eggnog. Believe me, Turkey Hill eggnog. If you see some Richard down there, do you have Turkey Hill ice cream? Then you probably have Turkey Hill eggnog. Um, it doesn't need no rum. I can't use that description. It's just wonderful. It's a sippy drink. Karen doesn't get this. I give her, something like the Turkey Hill, and she starts slugging it. No, this is expensive, and you experience the eggnog. Become one with the eggnog. Own the eggnog. Don't worship the eggnog. Just enjoy it. It's a sip type drink. Anybody know what I mean? You don't guzzle down a margarita. You enjoy it. Every taste is like heaven. Don't want too much tequila in there, though. No, definitely don't. Pasta Vazul. Okay. They do that. They used to do that at Tony Boffa's a lot, but we used to get the salads, the baked ziti, yeah, and garlic bread here tomorrow. Well, that's fine. So you don't eat no meat? You don't eat no meat? Oh, it's okay. I'll make lamb. I used to love lamb when I was a kid. I never eat lamb chops anymore or anything. I remember coming in, one of my friends at Town Terrace. This is 1967. So I did, just think I recently said that I didn't really have any friends to McDonald's in 1972, and really 73 is when the gang kicked in. But I did have friends at Town Terrace, and one of them was Damian Morris. And I remember bringing him into our apartment because we had sold our beautiful house after the death of my father when I was 11. We sold our really nice house, 2 floors, fireplace, and everything for like 8 grand in 1967. My future home was sold for 8 grand. And one of my mom's main excuses, and I was too young to try to talk sense into her or to think about the future when that could have been my house. Um, she said, "Well, the water pump doesn't work anymore. There's water in the basement. Get a new sump pump. It probably wasn't that expensive. Miller Lumber, that sold everything, was right down the hill. I don't know. I don't know. Yes, good night to all. Have a very Merry Christmas with your families. Thank you, Richard and Vivian Lyon, for stopping by. Appreciate that so much. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas. Um, I'm tired. Been running today, going to bed soon. I understand, Gloria. Not everybody's like me and stays up till 2, 3 in the morning. I'm trying to change that, but it's not easy. Scott Baker says, "Hey, Jack, when I grew up in Erie, PA, I was introduced to the Italian food, the pepperoni balls. I've not seen that. Certainly love myself a good, stromboli, sort of. It's nothing like a really good calzone, though. But I do like stromboli. But I always stayed with the most traditional things: the baked ziti, the lasagna, the manigot, um, things like that. And thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, well, my family is Karen and Andy, and he eats upstairs. So it's not, it's not what it certainly wasn't like the Italian Christmases that we used to have my mom and I on with the Candidos. Italian Christmases are the very best. They're the very best. Have made lamb burgers before. You always say something weird, Neon. Oh yeah, but you reminded me, Nia Khan, uh, that the other part of that was so I my mother's roasting a leg of lamb, and I bring Damian Morris, and he says, "What's that smell?" And I says, "Lamb." He says, "Let's go back outside." Oh dear. Take magnesium glutamate, Jack, before bed. I just took a shot of olive oil, which is all supposed to be also got to be good stuff, but you never really know how old the olive oil is, before it will help you fall asleep fast. Huh. Now, with magnesium, you got to be careful because it can do stuff to you. You got to make sure you do have the right kind of magnesium. But yeah, I know what you're saying. People talk about magnesium a lot in various ways. So, so I have pledged that I'm not getting any more Turkey Hill eggnog. That that became a passion this holiday season. Just looking back here in case I missed something, but I would love to go to St. Petersburg. I think it's February 27th, maybe or something. It's probably a Friday night, the last Friday night in February. Jimmy Sturr and the orchestra at the St. Petersburg Polish Club. I would go if I could, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. I got to get to Texas, to see my son, and that's no easy feat. That's no easy feat. Yeah, but I've been happy at Motel Sixes. I have. I'm just looking back here. Nice to have Jay Cat with us. Nice to have you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to just a pop on to pop off on Christmas Eve 2025. And as I do that, I go to my email, and there you go. Totally unsolicited. I mean, obviously, people that watch me all the time know that there's a real need. But to Jupiter's Realm, as usual, hit the Cash App. Thank you very much for $10 on the Cash App. And Tim Spencer for $20 on the Cash App. Merry Christmas wishes from both. And I appreciate that very much. That's very, very helpful. And that leads me, which I may not have done on this show. Cash App handle is Media Guy 56 lowercase letters. Where am I now? Don't take away your live stream tab. I'm going to do that someday, and then I don't know what it'll be like. Cash App handle. And that is the Cash App handle, which you get by loading it from the Google Play Store. You have to link your checking account to that. I don't trust a lot of services. We used to do PayPal back when we had an eBay business. But in both marriages, we had an eBay business at one time. And I remember problems. And so I stay away from that. So people ask me, do you use this? Do you use that? Some of them I definitely have never thought of using. And really, Cash App and the thanks button, which is you use a credit card there. I stick with that. People say you get a P.O. box. That would be definitely something that would run in the red. It wouldn't help me at all. It would run in the red. People just don't do P.O. boxes like they used to. So that is the Cash App handle. And for the replay crowd too, Media Guy 56, Media Guy 56, or the thanks button right there. I get more of it when you use Cash App. So thank you, no matter what you do, and thank you, Sammy, for hitting the thanks button for $20. So I saw some new folks in both the Pop On from Brother Bruno's. Watch that. You get to see a tour of Brother Bruno's Christmas stuff. They got some new stuff this year, and they do a wonderful job. They closed at 5 o'clock today, and they go and have the seven fishes. That's what Italians do on Christmas Eve. They have the seven fishes dinner. Never went to that. We weren't invited to that. That was family only. But on Christmas Day, Thanksgiving Day, Easter Sunday, we went over to the Candidos for an Italian event, and it was incredible in every way. In every way. Robin Roman joins us. Merry Christmas, Jack, and everyone. Just wrapping up dinner. I thought you were going to say wrapping up presents. I forget where you are, what time zone you're in. Tomorrow is another big day. I hope everyone is well and celebrating Jesus. Prayers for everyone, and happy birthday to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. December 25th is the day that we commemorate it. Carmen Sylvia, official now. Finally, you got official. You got certified. The certificate came in the mail. Merry Christmas, Jack. Merry Christmas to you. That is our Carmen Sylvia from New Zealand. What about Christmas there? Do they celebrate Christmas there? I don't know. Don't know anything about New Zealand. I was wondering about Australia. I don't see the Australian people here, do I? If there is, I'm missing it. How you been doing, Carmen, by the way? Carmen Sylvia has a channel here, as does Gloria Drummond. So put that information in. Merry Christmas, my friend. Says, oh boy, it's been a while, 4332. So why did you come up with those numbers, old boy? 4332. Merry Christmas, my friend. Peace and love. And look at that, Karen Phillips. Merry Christmas to all, joining our Pop On to Pop Off. Yes, I know who you are, Carmen. Carmen Sylvia. Check her channel out here. She's a singer. Andrea, that's yes, Andrea is here. Welcome. Gave them to me. Oh, it was chosen for you. I see. Just like some people, they don't pick the numbers for Powerball or Mega Millions or the Pick Five or whatever. Just Lotto in general. They just do the quick pick. The quick pick. We want everything fast. I couldn't pronounce that if I tried. But Merry Christmas, Neo. Robin is from Colorado. Me too. Yeah, okay. So it's mountain time? Like California time? Or am I just thinking that because of the Rocky Mountains? Probably. What time is it there is what I'm really asking you. Well, there's still 30, it says. It hasn't changed, and that makes me suspicious when it holds at a certain number, Now I'll be checking to see if that goes up or down. We'll see. So yeah, we got a turkey breast for tomorrow. I'll make some mashed potatoes. Karen hates to peel potatoes, so that's always my job. She tells me just boil them with the skins on and then take them off, but that's just not my way. If you have baked potatoes, of course, you leave the skin on. Although the Candidos would do something really good on Italian Christmas, they would not leave the skin on, which I know the skin is good for you, but they would put this glaze on there and bake them. I mean, first you'd start off with the pasta, something like ziti with their homemade meatballs, their sausage from the special Italian sausage shop in the Italian district of this city. Long gone. Have all that. Salad, nice garden salad and what have you. A lot of iceberg lettuce in there, which I like. And so then you'd have that. And then you'd sit at the table for a while and talk. And then here comes the turkey with the stuffing and those glazed baked potatoes and the vegetable, probably green beans. I'm not sure. But delish. And then a little while after that, here comes the desserts and the rosettes, those fried cookies with the powdered sugar. Oh dear. Oh dear. But it was special for more reasons than that, you know? The record player was playing Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons in the living room, and the Candidos would be dancing, and then the Faganis would come over, Pat and his wife Camilla, who was one of the Candido daughters, and Mike Candido, who's Gary Puckett's drummer, and he's in like three other bands. And his lady friend Mike was such a snappy dresser, still is, even when he wears the Confederate type outfit or whatever it is. And because Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, they wore those outfits. It was just a wonderful time. So I'll never see that kind of Christmas again. Sorry, I'm not a texter. Can you be a Dexter? We need a female Dexter. That's not a bad idea. Who would play a female Dexter? Well, there's any number of actresses that could do it, including Sydney Sweeney, including Amanda Seyfried. Not happy with what Amanda said about Charlie Kirk, but I don't think she's a malicious person. She just believes, because when you criticize what Charlie Kirk was saying, you are essentially saying that the Bible itself is hateful, because that's what he was quoting. That's what he was teaching. That it's become hate speech. The Bible has become hate speech to the XYZ generation. That's where we are now. So there's no sense arguing. They won't respond to it. They won't respond to it. I just want to know, she's all buddy now with Sydney Sweeney. She didn't do it right away, I bet, but at a certain point, Amanda Seyfried, who lives up in the Catskills, she may be up there tonight. I could probably get to her house in 45 minutes or less, depending how far into the Catskills she is. I have a feeling she's kind of far in. She must have at some point turned to Sydney Sweeney, who's in this Housemaid movie, which is doing well. Sydney Sweeney has a hit movie again, so does Amanda Seyfried. They're in it together. She would have had to turn and say, "So are you really a registered Republican?" And that could lead to an end of the friendship, just like it leads to kids abandoning their parents because their parents are MAGA. Happens all the time, all the time. The tolerant generation weren't and I know that goes back as far as millennials. At least as far as millennials, they were the most intolerant of all of opposing opinions. Huh. Erica was a handler, says Rocky Mountain High. What do you mean by handler? I'm going to probably regret asking that. Oh, are you going to go for sex trafficking? Is that what you're saying? It makes me think of Candace Owens. It makes me think of Candace, who former hero of mine. Although, when you're only doing like 3-minute little segments on Tucker, you're not going to hear everybody's full opinion. But some very smart people have been. I should have wrote this guy's name down. He's right here on YouTube. First time I ever saw him. He's explaining why Candace Owens has become what she's become. And of course, when you're making millions of views, you have going on 6 million subscribers, which makes her the #1 podcaster in the world right now. If you don't keep up the topic that got you there, and there's 2 topics, there's Macron's wife is a man, and now the whole Turning Point USA thing. This guy was saying they weren't, and this is what he was saying. I have no knowledge of any of it, that she wasn't that popular with the Turning Point people. She goes to the Daily Caller. She can't get along with Ben Shapiro. And he tries to tell, look, I'm not trying to tell you what to say, but, it's offensive what you're saying about Israel. She doesn't want to hear it. And, finally she ends up in her basement. And you got to hand it to someone that can have the #1 podcast from her basement. I'm not saying she's not talented. I'm just saying I don't line up with her opinions, and I don't think Charlie Kirk did either, as it pertains to Israel. So, what the term handler? What do you mean, Charlie's handler? Um, she would just say that she loved and supported her husband, and now her main motivation is to fulfill what was her husband's dream. And when she just did this whole string of dates, they were all pre-booked for Charlie, and she did them because they were on the calendar, and that's what she's doing now. But you people bring up everything from the that they fix the Trump beauty contest for her, and then they start to go into yeah, they come. Candace has pretty much come right to the edge of saying that she had something to do with her husband being killed. So when you get into this level, first of all, she's going to have to back that up at some point in a court, and this is what brought Alex Jones down. He was kind of saved, but he's still on the air thanks to people like Tucker, which is kind of surprising to me. Tucker, I love Tucker, and I'm not gonna stop loving Tucker, but I just disagree with him on some things. It was like a year ago, he would be the first to say, "I'm no Bible authority. I'm no Bible authority. I'm a lightweight Christian Episcopalian." And it was clear, you could tell that when it got to spiritual matters, he was an infant, but now he's a Bible. It seems like he thinks he's a biblical authority. And as I say, just get somebody like John Hagee on Candace and Tucker, and I'm sure Tucker would have him on. Get him on there. Uh, Forget Mark Levin. You don't like Mark Levin, and you think he's over the top. Okay, get somebody like John Hagee who knows the Israel topic to and fro, and I think he can explain to them that yes, um, uh, there's enough scriptures in the Bible that tell us that we still have to support and love the place that Jesus is coming back to in the second coming, and that Jesus chose to come to earth. He was already alive, but he chose to be born of a virgin into this world as a Jew. As a Jew, that's got to mean something. And there's a scripture, and I'm not going to go off on a tangent here, and I'm not prepared to do it. I have to study, take a look, and it's not my job. Unless the Lord tells me it's not my job. There's people that do it better than I do. But when you see Israel surrounded by its enemies, you know that the end is near. You know, um, all of what I just said does not defend um, some of the tactics that were used in Gaza for innocent people, kids killed. Horrible. War is hell. War is hell. We know that between the Ukraine and Russia, and I don't see any end in sight there. I don't see any end in sight there, but God may. God may, never would have happened if we hadn't have put a bumbling, in my opinion, evil person in the office. But enough of that. So what else is everybody else talking about? So I'm not sure what you mean by handler, because there was a whole team. Charlie had really close buddies that were, and people in the management. She would say she wasn't that involved, um, but she would show up as his co-host and what have you sometimes. Why is Nicki Minaj on Turning Point now? She is now a proud Trump praising Republican. I didn't see that coming. She has lost. Nicki Minaj has lost on Instagram in the last few days something like 10 million subscribers. I never thought I would say this, but I am so proud of Nicki Minaj for telling these woke fans of hers, I'm sorry, that's not the way I believe anymore, saying what Trump has done for this country and what have you. I'm very proud of her. Her music was so vile, so so off. She had whole rap songs where all she was talking was about a sexual act over and over, repeating the same thing, filthy, profane in every way. And see what God has done with Nicki Minaj. And she'll have a whole new base of fans now, and she can do some clean rap, you know. She can rap along with Brett Bear. He's a pretty good rapper. Looking forward to a blessed 2026. This has been a strange year. Well, I think that we'll continue to go towards the last days, but I think that many of the afflictions are many are the afflictions of the righteous. Now, are you righteous? Is the question we all have to ask ourselves in our heart of hearts. Are you really righteous, or are you just yelling slogans and saying things? Really interested in studying the scriptures and doing what they say? And I'm preaching to myself just as well as anybody here. You know, um, I've heard people say about people that don't go to church. Well, how are you going to get? Who do you think you're going to be with in heaven if you don't want to be with them here? If you don't have a compulsion to want to be with the saints of God here, and the saints of God are just the sinners who fall down and sin, but then get up because they're born of God's Spirit. Oh, it's a complicated thing, and then it's so easy. The same thing, because the Bible, um, somebody said this, and I wish I could quote them. I don't think it was John Kennedy. Uh, no, it was Tim Burchett, who believes in UFOs, as I do. Um, he was saying, I believe that the Bible was written for simple folk like me. Tim Burchett, he's been on Tucker a lot talking about all the sightings and the astronauts he's talked to and everything else. He probably believes that the moon landing was faked. I don't know, but he's a really cool man of faith and good people. Watch the Tim Burchett interview with Tucker; it's very good. We've had identity theft, so no Facebook. Huh. Interesting. Identity theft just doesn't mean you were hacked, right? I mean, it was more serious than that, because there's always going to be hackers out there. And they should ask you right away. I think they did ask me, did you open up another account or something like that? Is this you? So they do try to catch it, but they miss a lot of other stuff. Facebook, they miss a whole lot of other stuff, don't they? Including, people sneaking in graphic stuff a little bit, that kind of thing. Merry Christmas, my friend. Peace and love. Thank you, old boy. And I'm probably reading that again, but I'm not sure. Let's see here. Anybody I'm missing? Coming to Christmas Day 2025 on the East Coast. My Australian friends must be serious about, they're right in the midst of their afternoon Christmas celebration. I'm figuring it out in real time. And there's Elaine Peterson hitting the Cash App for $10 for Merry Christmas, as she's already done with that very same heading. So I appreciate that. I don't know what I'll do to make Christmas merry, but I think one way is just to thank our blessings. There are people that have no one, and I have a wonderful woman that I'm with. No, she doesn't want to get married. She would lose her husband's Social Security and what have you. There's penalties for that. No, we don't sleep in the same bedroom. She's over there and I'm over here. I don't like that, but that's the way it is. Doesn't mean I couldn't sleep over her. I did in the past, and Andy was over here. Long story. Thank you, Elaine, very, very much for hitting the Cash App. And thank you, Jupiter's Realm. And thank you, Tim Spencer, my man, Tim Spencer. Appreciate that very much. That is certainly very helpful. Most of what we did today cannot be monetized. The video that premieres tonight now, because it is Christmas Day 2025. Merry Christmas, everybody, here on the East Coast. Not California, you got to wait a while. Mountain Time. Um, they said that the video cannot be monetized and is blocked in some countries. So this video that'll come out tomorrow at 6 o'clock might be blocked in Australia or someplace like that. I don't know. I'll tell you about it once it's out. Um, because I'm playing music, I'm playing music. I'm playing a song, see if they would go for it. And they did with no monetization. And so far, they're saying no monetization on the Bob Joyce video, but both songs that I used are nobody can claim a copyright to them because the copyright has long ran out. So who knows? Who knows? I don't sweat the small stuff when it comes to that. I don't sweat the small stuff. So thank you, Elaine. Jupiter's Realm, Tim Spencer, for hitting the Cash App. And that's lowercase letters Media Guy 56 MEDIAGUY. The number is 56. Media Guy 56. Yeah. So Dave Mitchell was on earlier commenting that he ordered 6 copies of the Christmas CD and he got them all. He got them all. And nice to see Dave Mitchell checking in and other people that were new, some new names. We're definitely going to need that because we've lost some, and that's normal. We've been doing this. We did this all through 2023. That was the first big year for live shows for me. But I think I started in 2022 with the live shows, maybe the tail end. I don't really know. But when I did my Christmas 2023 video, which was a warm day, you can still see that. It's still up. I said that we had 177% increase this year because of the live shows. So there you go. It's not been that big this year, but we've had some people that have been wonderful. So there you go. There you go. So that's the story, Dory. That's the story. We'll do a pop on Christmas Day at some point. I'm just not sure when, we definitely will. That's the plan. I may even keep this like this, just move it a little bit. So it's there, and I have to bring it in and set up again. Back to the live stream. I love that song you played on the CD. Sounds of Freedom. Beautiful. Sounds of Freedom. Who are you talking to? Sounds of Freedom. I played 2 tracks from the Christmas, the Bob Joyce Christmas CD, O Come Emmanuel from 1890 something. And then O Come All Ye Faithful, which the first round of that was in the 1700s on the Christmas show from the Bob Joyce CD. Robin Roman says, yes, hacked. But had many accounts. Yeah, I'm not going to pretend that I know all about that. Different banks, 5 of 7 accounts, nightmare, huh? I don't wish that upon anyone. Very selective who I share my time with. Yeah, they're easy. They're very good at what they do, though. The 400-pound guy in the basement will make you think you're talking to Sydney Sweeney. And now we got AI. Going to be talking about this real soon in relation to Bob Joyce. It's all over the place, and that's going to have an impact. We'll be talking about that. So, yeah. What is Cherry Cricket? What is Cherry Cricket? So, I don't think I'll be buying any Nicki Minaj CDs. Of course, really, we got to start thinking about, the I probably have one here somewhere. The computer plugins, because CDs are going out. keep us informed on the AI stuff. Well, since it's tech, I'll be relying on other people and what they think. But I'm saying that there's another thing to consider in all that. And there's some interesting things happening. I can't talk about all of them, but we'll talk about what I can talk about. And, that'll be a pre recorded video. That'll be a pre recorded video or two. So there you go. Yeah, CDs are fine. I have one in my car, so I don't mind popping them in. But you got to understand, to the average Z generation CD, what the hell is that? No, it's like Elvis Presley. Elvis is alive. Who cares? And a lot of the reporters like that. Caitlin Collins, does she care if Elvis is alive? No, she cares about her every breath trying to say something snotty about Donald Trump and wonders why nobody watches her. Give me a break. Hmm. I'm still starving. I didn't get enough for dinner. Did not. Merry Jesus birthday observed. Okay, Neil. So there you go. That's our pop on, which lasted an hour and 35 minutes and counting already. So we'll pop on sometime later today on this Christmas 2025. If you think that the Z generation is embracing CDs, tapes, and records, no, that would be the millennials. Tapes, no way. Next, you're going to say 8 tracks, Neo. Neo, you're just different. I'm going to have to come up with some AI from you, run some ideas by you, and see what you are capable of in that department. Yeah. That might be good if we come up with the right thing. So thank you, everybody. Merry Christmas. Talk to you later on this Christmas Day 2025. And we're still alive. Praise God for that. If that is an example of God's grace, big God bless you. Bye-bye for now.